the format for this is more similar to Rogan. So we're trying to interview interesting people.
Right.
And
Very
It's
conversational.
all about your story.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
So if you end up talking 60 to 65% of the entire episode, that would be a win.
I'm really shy, you guys.
Yeah.
Not super outgoing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way.
And the hope is like we want to talk to people who have had to put something to death in their life so that something can be resurrected.
Right.
You know, because the idea is that the Bible says flee but pursue. Most of us get caught up in the pursuit of like self-improvement, but we forget to put to death something that's hindering us.
Yeah.
Right.
And so those moments of tragedy that God turns into, beauty from ashes. And so we're really interested in those types of things.
Yeah.
And you all know nothing about my
Nothing.
story.
We don't know
nothing.
anything.
I mean, I know enough about from like Instagram, right? I know that you played baseball.
Mm.
I know that you played baseball for Texas, which I'm supposed to say. I assume we're just starting at this point, and we'll do an intro in a second. But a good friend of mine messaged me this morning. His name's Cole, lives in Austin. Wanted me to let you know. He said, "Hook him." Hook him, Cole. He was adamant about you got to hook him for me. So get that out of the way. But as far as that, like, I know you're an athlete. I know you're in the endurance space, like specifically if you want to niche down on the part of athletics at this current point in your life. And I know you play baseball.
Yeah.
That's
How many
about it.
apps do you have? All of them.
How many apps?
A couple.
We're all athletes here.
Yeah. As you can tell.
What is it, the fastest growing sport right now?
It is, and it's like huge in Coeur d'Alene, and it has been for like
Oh,
2 years.
this is my first time in Coeur d'Alene. I was driving to check my bike in today, and I took a right, and I saw this massive crowd of people.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's going on over there?
It's
Right next to the league field.
Yeah.
Pickleball courts.
Yeah.
Mounds of
Yeah.
pickleball going.
When you have this heavy middle-aged white people, pickleball gets huge.
Pickleball.
real quick.
I don't get it. I really don't understand the like lure for pickleball.
Yeah, well, it's the hand-eye coordination of ping pong without all the running of tennis.
I've heard a lot of people are getting injured because they're not used to moving like this. They're doing like agility and they're like running, and it gets super competitive. I mean, I've played multiple times. I remember one time in spring training. I can now talk about this, but my buddies lived next to a pickleball course and we would meet up during spring training.
Yeah.
And we would play pickleball all the time, and it gets so competitive.
Yeah.
Imagine playing with a bunch of guys that literally compete just for a living.
Yeah.
Playing another sport like that, like let's go. It's
Oh
all
yeah. Yeah.
And especially, I'd never played before, so I was like, all right, I got to go in and figure this out. I can't let my buddy beat me.
Yeah.
I'm over here just like, thought I blew out my ACL.
Right.
I'm going for sure the next day. I'm like limping. I'm like, don't show it. Don't show it.
Yeah. I have a friend that owns a company that's a huge pickleball paddle manufacturer called Selkirk.
But the ones that are here.
Yeah, they're here in CDA.
Okay.
Yeah, and their warehouse is just down the road. But
Right.
he and I were talking over dinner. I was like, why does it seem more competitive than? And he's like, because you're so close to the net, you can talk smack.
Oh,
And that is what it is. Like in tennis, you're way further back. But here, you're just like right up. You're like 7 feet from the next guy, slamming it into your face. You know what I mean? So
that's true.
that's his theory.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't think about that. Maybe I should start.
oh, dude, I have the picture all net in here.
Yeah.
It's like 90% of the game, honestly.
Oh,
It's okay.
Game over.
Yeah. That's awesome.
We bought a net for in here. It's obviously sitting
Have
up.
to wait until we get it all cleaned
Yeah.
up.
We've got to finish a few things.
You just
but-
have a good space for it.
Yeah,
it's
it's pretty
kinda
sweet.
awesome.
It is good.
Okay, so let's do this. So my name's Daniel. This is Greg, and this is the Killbox Podcast. We have an insanely amazing guest. And why don't you do a little way of introduction without spoiling anything?
Okay, I'll do my best. All right, so sitting next to me is Tyler. I got connected with him through a good friend named Riley on Instagram, and so we've never actually met. This is going to be a really interesting episode because, again, we've never met. So
we have no idea what your story is.
First day, walked in, just
Yeah.
walked in maybe
Yeah, we're best
15 minutes ago. We're best buds. We're all opening a pickleball gym together. It's going to be very special.
Yeah.
So this is going to be fun. We're gonna dive into some cool stuff. We're going to hear a lot about Tyler's story, about who he is, how he became like a Greek god of a physique man, and just hammer out some good stuff.
I can tell you from the first 2 minutes of meeting Tyler that he he said that he drove 20 hours to get here, and in the middle, he stopped at a rest stop for a workout. I guess that's how you stay. It's like that's how you get it.
That's how you keep all.
It turns out hard work is like a part of it.
Funny story. So I was flying to New York City recently for a High Rocks event. I can go into that in detail later.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've been doing double day workouts for a long time now. So mornings usually a big bike ride, 90 minutes, and then I have a big lift in the afternoon, big swim or something of the nature. And I needed to get my second lift in because when you fly to New York, it's kind of an all day thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So my coach had implemented in a airport workout. So I bring a pack of clothes on my airplane, and as soon as I land, I have exactly an hour, 30 minutes before my flight takes off again to go to New York. I'm in Chicago Midway Airport. I gotta go find a section where I can kind of get away from people because I don't really want. I'm not doing it for the people. I'm doing it like trying to make eye contact and like looking away.
Right.
But I'm in the middle of the airport doing jump ropes, burpees, squats, and it's an hour workout. It's an EMOM every minute on the minute. So I am doing a certain amount of reps every single day.
Your little app open, going beep, and then
I'm on my watch, and I'm just like running everything. I'm dripping, sweating in the airport, and people are walking by me just going, they've never seen it, but it was incredible.
Yeah.
Where you get people were just like, oh, that's awesome. Like,
Oh,
yeah. It was kind of cool. I was like, because nobody does things like that, and you feel so out of place, but you just have to kind of accept that. But anyway, sorry.
I feel like that's just human nature, though, because like I was thinking about this last night. I don't know why, but like with I think especially as men, you see people do hard things, and then there's just something in your brain that clicks, and like I'm going to cheer this person on because even if you're not operating within that mindset or actively, pursuing it and doing it, like there's
you have
something
an appreciation for it.
innately inside of you. You're like, yeah, that's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about why you're in town.
Yeah.
And what event you're here for.
So, I'm here for the Ironman, the 70.3. This is my first time running an Ironman. It's a half Ironman.
70.3.
70.3 is the total distance.
Miles?
Total distance of everything together. So the swim, the bike, and the run is an accumulative of 70.3 miles.
That's wild.
And that's only the half.
I get tired. Like I get tired thinking I have a 70.3 mile drive.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's a miles of drive. And I do as well.
So you bike, you swim, and you run.
Bike, swim, and run. Yep. It's like a 1.2 mile swim. You start out. I'll be in the water at 6:30 tomorrow. And then you jump into a 56-mile bike and then a half marathon 13-1.
So you have to ride your bike wet.
Yes, you have a wetsuit on the outside. No, this is how
anything about Ironman.
The water is 60 degrees tomorrow.
Brutal.
You gotta wear a wetsuit, but they have these. It's in Lake Coeur d'Alene, and it's beautiful. I've never seen this before. It's incredible. I actually played just in the neighboring town in Spokane.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I played the Spokane Indians.
Yeah.
We would always when I was in the high A playing there. We'll get into that in a bit, but. So I had never been over here. I've heard so much about Coeur d'Alene. How beautiful it is. Oh my goodness.
It's a game changer.
It's unbelievable here.
Phenomenal.
So I show up today to check in, and they're like, yeah, the water's 60 degrees. And I was like, okay. I wasn't really expecting that, but that's fine. So we have a special wetsuit that you wear, and it goes over your tri-suit. So you have a suit underneath that's super tight, and it kind of has like a pad, so when you ride, you obviously don't get that uncomfortable part of the saddle.
Right, because your seats are made of iron.
Exactly. Yeah, basically, they're like a spike. Oh my gosh. So as soon as you get out, they have like people there to strip the wetsuit off of you because they're so snug.
Yeah.
And you get out of the water, and you have to put like my buddies have raced them before, and they're saying, hey, rub like Pam spray on your legs. Like legit Pam spray. And I'm like, I don't like oils in my body like that. But I was like, all right, I'll do it. Like just for this one race, they run over there and they strip that off you, and you rip it off, and you throw your socks on if you're gonna put socks on, and it's right on your bike, and you run to you hit the bike trail.
Yeah.
Bike trail 56. That's an out and back. It's gonna be uphill for the most part, so it's gonna be a massive incline. And then you come back down. It's pretty quick, and then you get off the bike, transition right into your run. And you switch your shoes as fast as you can. You're a little sweaty, so it's kind of a process to like.
How many miles is it run?
And then you go to a 13-mile run. It's a half marathon, so 13.1.
Insane.
Dude, that's nuts.
Yeah, that's.
I kind of want to do one.
These halves, you should.
Well, I'd like to.
I've never done a triathlon before.
This is your first one?
I've never even done a triathlon before, and I'm like, why not just do an Ironman?
Dude, that's the move right there.
Like, what am I? But that's what people tell me all the time. And this is one big thing is like, even with these high rocks events that I race in, and I'll explain more about that in a bit, but people are like, there's different divisions. There's a pro division, and there's a men's open division, and there's doubles and all these divisions.
Is there a children's open division?
There's not a children's open division.
I want to start with a men's.
I'm telling people, I'm just going, hey, just sign up for like the men's pro or something. Like, you know, especially if you spend time working out and feel like you can put a good effort forward.
Right.
Like just push yourself and kind of challenge yourself a little bit and say, all right, I'm going to do this and train for it. And then give yourself a year and just go totally lock in. Or with this triathlon, like I had some buddies reach out. I said, why don't we go just sign up for a triathlon? And like, just do it. Honestly, just sign up. So,
dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So what is the training? Did you say you trained for a year to do this?
I really haven't stopped training my whole life for like random things. I wouldn't say I specifically have been training for an Ironman.
I've taken some time off recently, but when I sign up, I gotta give myself a little bit on.
Give yourself some time.
Yeah.
I love training so much.
How do you, okay, I have two questions. Number one is how do you get to a point where you like it?
I don't think you ever do like it.
Really?
I think it's just this process of there's something about it that it's like the grind for me is so attractive. Like having the process of waking up and going through some pain for me is what I really enjoy. And like having to
that's where we're
navigate your day.
I love
yeah. And I'm the opposite. I like things.
Yeah.
Yes, I like things to be comfortable, like where I'm living and other situations that are like that. But for the most part, when it comes to things that can challenge my brain and push me to the next level, I love it uncomfortable. A good example would be, and I'm like the first one to admit when I had things go wrong, especially within my career. Like, I'm not perfect. I have an interesting baseball career. We can get into that in a sec. But there was times where I was like playing well, and there was times where I played bad, and I got demoted, and I went through periods of time where it was a grind. And so I remember one time I got demoted down to a level. They sent me actually to Oregon from
the Beavers?
From Georgia. No, this is in Pro Ball, and I went from Augusta, Georgia to Salem Kaiser, Oregon to play on the Volcanoes.
Okay.
Showed up to the locker room, and we call him a clubby. He kind of like is in charge of like just running. Like they keep it alive. They're the heartbeat of the locker room.
Yeah.
They keep the clothes going through laundry. They get you all the stuff you need, and they kind of like just facilitate everything. They're the best guy to know. And I always have really good relationships with them. They're awesome people. Well, he goes, hey, Schimpfy. They all call me Schimpfy. They say, we got you in this locker right here. Like, this is the good one. I was like, man, I don't want that locker. He said, why? I was like, because that locker's like way too comfortable. I said, I want the one in the corner. The one that is between all of those guys where I have to like grab my stuff and I can hardly change. And I just want to like be really uncomfortable there. Yeah. And that's the space that I live in. And I love like just I can relate that to everything else because I never want to be in a state where someone mentioned to me about this race. They go, oh, it's going to be the water's cold or it's going to be windy. And I was like, you're perfect. I was like, well, it's not even about like, oh, you know, I want the worst of the worst conditions because I'm hard. It's not even about that. It's like, it's just, I wouldn't expect it to be any different. Like the way I train and the way I am, I go, if it's windy, I'm not going to race an Ironman for fun to go for it to go be comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, if it's windy,
something different.
Someone like we were talking like, oh, you know, you're gonna do this one, it's gonna be pretty windy. And I was like, well, it's gonna be windy. Like, it's gonna be windy for everybody.
Yeah. I'd probably get to the starting line and be like, I can't do it with the wind.
Sorry, it's windy, guys.
My time. What do you? So my second question. So thank you for sharing that. Sounds like there's no way to avoid just enjoying something that's terribly hard and the pain. But what are you most nervous for? Because isn't it tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
Yeah. What so there's 3 segments. What are you most nervous for? Like,
oh man, I think the thing I'm most nervous about is just understanding the flow of everything because I've never done one before.
So the transitions, maybe.
Transitions.
Yeah.
I don't get trampled in the water. Like I'm not the fastest swimmer. Like, wait, these guys are really good. I can get in the water and swim, but I'm not gonna go and just rip out one of these killer times like these guys are. So I want to like they said faster swimmers like start at 6 and then trickle in. They release 3 guys at a time, 3 people at a time. There's 2,000 athletes to release. every 5 seconds, 3 people. That way you don't get trampled.
Yeah.
So I've recently had to learn how to like draft behind swimmers. So
Yeah.
when they're swimming, you're like, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches behind their feet,
No shot.
and you have to swim in their bubbles, and you're just trying to
Yeah.
like, grab on their bubbles. So I'm going to be the guy that's finding someone that's going to be moving well and
Yeah.
try to just ride the coattails.
Yeah, I would
there's
draft
no
so
way.
hard I'd get arrested. I would be holding their bubbles,
Yeah,
holding them while they
here's
through the water.
the thing. Here's the thing. If you get, I need your bubbles, leave me alone. If you get too close to them and you start tapping them with your hand, they will urinate on you.
No,
Yeah, they'll let you know. They're like,
No
you're
shot.
You're kind of too close to me, man.
Yeah. little chemtrail.
Like, why is it warm? Why does the water go from
Yeah.
60 to 70 already?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We know.
Yeah. Are you gonna wear a swim cap?
They make you wear swim cap. Yep.
Why did they? Would you?
It's like a marker for your number, and it's like a green, very,
Bright.
it's a bright color.
Oh, so they don't lose you in the water.
So they know where I'm at.
Which means there's a risk of losing someone in the water.
There is a risk.
It's super scary.
Super right.
Well, that's why there's so many. That's why they release you like that. So
Yeah.
I think in the past they had issues with people getting run over and drowning,
Oh,
so they have to release you at like different ways.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Are you pretty fast on a bike?
I bought my bike on Facebook Marketplace. So these guys have like
20,000 on bikes. I know the one guy that does that has a 20 grand bike. I know.
I'm like walking
That's
around.
insane.
My bike is nice. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I've really got lucky. The guy that I got it from, he was an awesome rider, and he actually had a crash on it. So it has a little like carbon crack on it, but it got completely repaired. And I'm like, dude, I gotta earn my bike. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna start here and see what I can do.
Yeah.
And honestly, like it's like when I played baseball my whole life growing up, I never got new stuff. My whole life was always hand me down stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just used to that. Like, I feel like I perform the best, and he always would say, he's like, it's not about the bat you're swinging. It's about who's swinging it.
Right.
So I'm like, literally the same thing with the bike. I'm like, a lot of people, I feel pretty confident.
Yeah.
In what's between where here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm gonna put.
Tell us a little bit about baseball. So did you play like just high school? Like when did you start? Tell us a little bit about your career. Take the ball, run with it.
For sure. So grew up around sports. Softball. My sister played softball. My dad was a softball coach, and he ran teams all over the nation. He had 500 Division I scholarship for women. He had a ton of teams all over the nation, nonprofits that he ran, and we would go all over the place selling raffle tickets in stores and paying the way for all these different trips. So it was such an awesome experience to be able to do. Like, I learned a lot as a kid doing that. Transitioned into baseball when I was old enough to play. We were doing the same thing, nonprofit teams, paying our own way through raffle tickets, selling at random grocery stores all over the place. Learn how to talk to people at a young age and deal with finances and figure out, all right, if I do this, I get to go play in New York or whatever. So I understood what that looked like. So it taught me a lot of that stuff. And then I obviously would travel the United States playing. We went to New York, Florida, playing all these different travel ball leagues.
Wow.
I played a little bit of Little League growing up, but always knew like, hey, this is what I wanted to do the rest of my life. I wanted to play professional baseball. I wanted to go to the big leagues and take care of my family and give back as much as I can, serve in any way possible. Like, I just knew that's what I wanted to do. So my dad was a massive part. Obviously, my entire family was such a big part of my life, and we were all so close. I had a batting cage in my backyard growing up, so my dad was a big time hitting instructor.
Oh wow.
We called him the hitting guru. His name was Coach Billy. People would come from all over for his practices and his hitting lessons.
Yeah.
But not only was a hitting coach, he coached everything. He was so good, and it was his heart behind it. It was how much he cared. I remember him and my mom getting into arguments because he would have guys come over. He's like, I'm not charging, but come back. And I just want you to be better. It's his heart.
That's right.
And it was so pure. So it taught me so much growing up. I was sharing a story today, and we kind of talked about like why I have now why I am who I am, why I do what I do. And one of the things that I shared today with a friend was I was a Saturday morning. I would wake up and I'd go, like what every kid would do, and I would go to the kitchen, make some Eggo waffles, and I would sit on the couch and throw on some cartoon, right?
Yeah.
Saturday morning, while my dad's up in the backyard putting work in on the pool or whatever that is, and he comes in and he goes, hey man, I just want you to know, there's some kid in LA right now probably taking some swings. Right?
Wow.
Like taking some swings in the cage. So I would sit there for a second. I'm like, turn the TV up. I'm like, it's all good. I'm fine. Eating my waffles. And like 3 seconds later, dang it, TV off in the backyard, thousands of swings. Just and it taught me so much. He didn't ever have to force you because a lot of kids are so controlled by parents telling them, hey, you have to train, you have to do this, you have to do that. And yes, he did that, but to an extent, it taught me how to push myself.
Yeah.
And it's literally a stuff.
He reminded you that there's very few that are going to get the goal that you wanted, and there's other people working harder.
No doubt. No matter what, there's always someone put in the work.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So that was kind of like growing up. I had such an amazing time playing travel baseball my entire life. Wasn't much of a little league guy. I played a little bit, but here and there. And then once I got into high school, I was like, all right, Texas was my dream school to play for my whole life. I always wanted to. My dad knew it. My family knew it. And we were like, let's do whatever we can to go to UT. Like, that was it. That was the goal. I went to their best baseball school. It was just like so attractive. And I will go ahead and transition into this part of the story, which is just the life-changing moment. My sophomore year of high school, we had just gotten back from a trip. My sister had gotten married in Hawaii, and my dad had been struggling losing some weight. He was actually he was on the treadmill, he was working out. And my brother at the time was a firefighter who's Army in his stripes. He was working, put his time in Nevada County so he can eventually get his big job. My mom had gone to bed early that night. I was up late working on a project. It was like 8 o'clock at night, and I'm a sophomore in high school. I had just gotten sent to this Christian school, which was a blessing. All my friends, they did not go there, so I was like, why are we going to this school? I had no idea why. And sure enough, this is why. So it was August, and my school had just started. I was working on a project, and my dad gets off the treadmill, and he's kind of like grabbing his chest, and he's like, hey man. I said, you okay? Like, do you need help? You okay? He's like very stubborn. He's like, yeah, I'm all good. And then about 4 seconds later, he collapses. And he, my dad ended up having a massive heart attack in that moment. So I get up, and I thankfully knew how to do CPR. Grab my mom, and I jump on him, and I start doing CPR on my dad. And I just remember like literally just cracking his entire chest, and as he's looking at me like losing his life in front of me. So it was a pretty wild moment for me to experience. And I just start crying out to God. I'm praying. I'm like, all right, what is going on in this moment? And I end up keeping him alive until the ambulance gets there. They get there, fire gets there, and they got him en route to the hospital, and he ended up passing away. So he had such a major blockage, and that changed the course of my life, no doubt, my family's life and everything. So that's kind of like the essence of my story. From that moment on, as a sophomore in high school, I had a decision to make, whether it's, hey, let this destroy my life, or keep moving forward and keep building with my family and stick together. We had traveled all over together playing baseball. I mean, he made such an impact on people's lives. When he passed away, we had thousands of people at his funeral show up, all in baseball, football, basketball, softball attire, in any sport that he impacted their life in. And they all showed up to support, like, hey, your dad has supported us and impacted our lives in this field, in this way. He helped hold families together with whatever they're dealing with. And I just saw that, and I remember sitting up there reading, and I'm looking out, going, man, when I pass away, I would love to have an impact like this. Like half of this would just be unbelievable, right? So I'm just going, how could I take that, what my dad brought to the community, and just pour it into everywhere else in my life?
Wow.
Right.
Coach,
what a legacy.
It was yeah. So then I have my private school that I went to. I got letters from all the kids in high school, and hey, we support you. I didn't even know anybody yet, and they're just like, we love you, we support you, we're praying for you. And progressing on the next couple of months, obviously the hardest months of our lives, family. I have 2 sisters, a brother. They're all older, and then my mom, obviously. And life changed quickly. It was me, my mom, and my brother. My sisters had already moved out and lost everything, lost the house, lost the cars, couldn't afford anything. But God is so good, and it was seeing the way that He blessed us and directed us in our lives was incredible. I felt super wealthy because of my family and who I had around me. And to me, like, I just view life so differently now because of that.
A lot of people don't recognize that. Like, for your dad, who sounds like he was probably the primary breadwinner.
Right.
We have a charity for widows and orphans for that exact reason, so that these women who are left behind with their kids, they don't have to rush to try to get remarried, don't have to rush into a career.
Right.
We try to financially provide for them as long as we can, so that they can grieve and get to their new normal with their kiddos. So
And I'll forever be thankful. And I've praised God for this all the time. Is just the people that came through in those moments.
cool.
Family members, school friends, any people just dropping off meals and
Yeah.
supporting, helping us. It was just
Yeah.
unbelievable to see the community come together in that moment. So just
Yeah.
super thankful for that.
Wow. So after this time period, this couple months, your dad's passed away, your mom and
Right.
you and your brother in the house, financially troubled. People are supportive,
Definitely.
did you stay at the private school? Did you dive more into baseball or athletics? What happened next?
Yeah, so I was very blessed with the program that I was involved with in high school. They gave me the opportunity to continue to go to high school.
Yeah.
And help provide. We were in uniform, so I had to pay for clothing to go to school. So they helped me with that. I remember I got like some Old Navy clothing, which was nice. Very thankful. It was collar and khaki shorts, khaki pants. Go to school, show up, take care of business. Food wise, I remember getting blessed and helped out with some food at school so I can afford to eat lunch because it was expensive to go to that school, but I knew that I had to be there.
Yeah.
And God definitely blessed us with the people around us who we put in our life to be able to help me continue to go to school. My brother and my mom, they had a conversation, and my brother said, "Mom, like I'm gonna quit what I'm doing," which it was at the time he was putting his hours in to become a firefighter, but he had to go work at a station to accumulate those hours. And my mom looks at it, he's working for free. My mom goes, "You're not stopping that job." And now my brother's a fire captain for the city. I mean, it is just it gives me the chills. He just got promoted not too long ago. And man, just seeing
your mom for
oh my goodness,
Yeah.
like the family that I come from
Yeah.
is just I'm so thankful. I just could not.
I think a lot of people would say, "Oh, you're so blessed, you're so privileged," but at the end of the day, if you look at it from a different perspective, your family made really tough decisions and put principles above,
No doubt.
above any of their circumstances.
Exactly.
Your mom made hard decisions and big sacrifices.
It's
to keep you
obviously my
where you
mom,
need to
like
be.
losing her husband like that of so many
Yeah.
years, like they were together forever,
Yeah.
and seeing the impact that they've made together, I'm just going,
Way to go, Mama.
yeah, exactly. Mama
Yeah.
Schimpf, she's a real one. I'll tell you that.
She's a real one. God bless her. Yeah,
Absolutely. So we then ended up moving into a buddy's house who has like a in-laws quarters in the back. And I would go to high school with him every day. It was my mom and me and our two dogs in this house, and it was a one bedroom, or it was a two bedroom, but it was like super tiny.
Yeah.
It was an in-laws quarters. You guys
Yeah.
we're just like so thankful.
It's probably just like a
Like
little
every
living space
exactly,
in a room, right?
exactly. And I'm like, I'm so thankful. We had the most fun just being around each other. Like we always said, if we have four walls and we have each other, like,
Yeah.
it didn't even matter. I felt so wealthy because of that, right? We didn't have money,
Wow.
but we were able to keep going, have each other, like keep building. And my brother kept building his career. My mom got on her feet a little bit, and we were able to move into an apartment. It wasn't the safest spot, but it was a spot, and we were able to get our own. And it was just amazing to see God work that way and just keep providing for my mom and keep on just like helping us stay strong through the process. Because man, it's so tough when you go through something like that. And so if anybody's gone through anything like that, it's I hope that you can see it as some sort of motivation that you can come out on the other side. It's always going to be there. It's always hard. You never go a day where you don't miss. Like I don't miss my dad like every day. Like it's just you miss him every day. Especially with my baseball career, I wish I could have called him because he's the guy that really understood everything. Like after an outing, which I can call him a pops. It just doesn't work like that. So, I lost track of your question, but I just want to say that during that time, we moved into this next apartment and kept going to Capitol. I kept going to school. I went there the next 3 years. I finished. I graduated there, and I just had built up this friend group, and the community there was unbelievable. The program that I was a part of, that I was talking about earlier, continued to help me through high school.
Yeah.
Helped prep me for college. It's called the program there is called Ease, and it's such an incredible program. I was actually recently able to run a marathon and raise money for it to give back.
So cool.
And that's kind of been my big goal in life. My whole life, I've always knew that I wanted to use the abilities God's given me and be able to just pour out and just serve and be used as a vessel, basically. Yeah. I'm just like, oh God, you give me some abilities. Like, I just want to come before you humbly and just go, let's see what we can do. And it may not be the wealthiest, I may not have everything, but I definitely will like present heart on all that stuff. So that's
So where was the school that you went to?
It was in Sacramento.
Sacktown.
Sacktown.
Yeah.
I love played basketball there, played a little bit of football, mainly baseball, obviously.
Yeah.
And then had an opportunity. I then committed to Texas.
So you did get
so I committed to Texas my junior year of high school.
Wow.
I flew out to Austin and I played for a summer ball team there.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, hey, I'm gonna go to UT. Like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
So I just went. Excuse me. I went full in on it, and I said, here we go. Like, I'm coming to y'all.
Yeah.
And I just kept praying about it. And I feel like once in your mind, when you commit to stuff like that, when you commit to things in your life, you're like, hey, this is my goal. This is what I want to do. You start putting all your energy towards it. Somehow it just kind of like you start gravitating towards those things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
the doors keep opening.
Exactly. The doors keep opening. You just keep pushing. So I did. And sure enough, I remember throwing and they're like, hey, Texas is here today. And the day that schools can call you, there's a special day, a cutoff where they can officially call you and offer you scholarships. Texas, they waited until the end of the day. I'll tell you that. I was like, all right, yeah, come on. So I finally got a call, and I was like, absolutely. Like, I was super blessed and honored to get that call.
Yeah.
And I took it, and then going through my senior year was awesome because it was kind of like, all right, I'm committed to UT, but now I was focusing on the draft. Like, I was like, okay.
Like MLB draft.
MLB draft.
What position did you play?
I was a pitcher. In high school.
Oh,
wow. In high school, I kind of was a position player and a pitcher. Yeah. So I kind of did both. I was a two-way in high school.
Yeah.
And I just loved it. I grew up with
no Tommy John injury or anything?
No. My dad he had me as a hitter. So I was like a third baseman and I would hit. And I just loved it. Like when I was a hitting coach, like, so it was like, that's what I did.
Yeah.
And I thought I was just going to be doing that the rest of my life. So just to kind of take y'all through that process real quick, if you guys would like to hear that. So you have an opportunity to get drafted out of high school before you end up going. You can either go, all right, let's sign in high school, or go say, help me go to college. Once you go to college, you got to go 3 years or till you're 21.
Yeah.
So I played pretty well my senior year of high school, and I had an opportunity to sign pretty early on in the draft. And got a call and had to make a big decision. Ended up deciding we're going to go the college route and honor my dad through that. And really, that was my biggest. It was like, told my mom I should wear a degree, and my dad knew I wanted to get UT. Right. So it was like, it was almost a no-brainer that I just needed to make that happen.
Yeah.
So what team called?
Well, I had a few. I actually ended up being selected by the A's out of high school, and but it was the Mets who were wanting to take me pretty early on. I didn't know the details because that's not who I am, but
the details make the story for us. Like we love it.
I got called in the second round at high school.
Whoa, that's pretty nice.
And they threw a good amount of money at me as a 18-year-old in high school, and I said I'm gonna have to stick to my guns. It was a really tough one, but I had to stick to it and say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to UT and offer a scholarship and go play. So you guys are right. It is part of the story, and it's just I got to own it at this point.
Yeah. I know you said it was like a no-brainer decision, but I try to think, and based off of what we've heard so far, I would assume you and I were very different at 18 years old. But I feel like if I was 18 and I had this goal, I want to go play for the majors. I'm gonna, bust my butt to get there. And I get that call coming out of high school and they throw a lot of cash at me. I know, again, you say it's a no-brainer.
I knew you were 18, you'd take it.
I would, I would have had the I don't know the right word, discipline or
discipline.
Ethic enough to turn that down. Like, even though it is a no-brainer, was it still like a really challenging decision to say, like, I'm still going to walk out this way?
It was a hard decision to make. Thankfully, I had some good people in my corner kind of directing me in ways. I did not at the time have an agent because I thought I could do it all by myself at that moment.
Yeah.
And I just had with the family that I had and the group of friends, we were able to make that decision ourselves. I ended up signing with a good agency, and they were such a blessing to me. I wish I would have done it earlier. So I would say anybody going out of high school that's maybe listening, yeah, it's probably wise if you have an opportunity to acquire an agent at high school.
Yeah.
But you live and you learn. And
Yeah.
looking back at it, I could easily say, did I make the wrong decision financially? Because I ended up getting drafted at a 13th round in college. So I lost money in the draft because of that, but I gained all the experience in the world, right?
Yeah. So you played 3 years in college or 4?
Yeah, so I played a total of 3 years in college. So I got drafted my junior year, with one medical redshirt year because I sprained my UCL and they gave me a PRP. And
What's a PRP?
it's a plasma platelet rich injection. So
Okay.
they take your blood out, they spin it, they activate the platelets in it, and they inject it right back into wherever you're having an issue. And it's supposedly within 6, 12, 15 months, you're supposed to be back 100%. And it's easier than getting Tommy John surgery. So
Got it.
and it does not everybody takes to it.
Yeah.
I actually had my Tommy John surgery scheduled, and called the doctor the day before and said, "Hey, I'm not feeling great about this. I would like to see a PRP specialist." And we went for it, and I came back throwing harder than I ever thrown.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Greg probably doesn't know what a Tommy John surgery is. I do because I've read this picture.
I am not a sports boy.
Yeah. It's where they take a tendon out of your leg and put it in your elbow.
Yeah, or your hand. This one here, they just pull it out.
Oh, that's gnarly.
Yeah, through your elbow, and they literally just tie it together. And
because pitchers loot like
right.
Yeah, there's a lot of force.
Yeah.
So you can blow that tendon out.
It's called your ulnar collateral ligament.
Okay.
And it just sits right there in your elbow. It's like a big one for pitchers because as you throw it, just your arm snaps back, and so
Right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Nuts.
So there are even some parents or students who are in high school that will pre-elect to do Tommy John before their arm fails. I have a buddy who was a bullpen catcher for the Rockies, and all his buddies are pitchers, like MLB pitchers and stuff. And I think he's a coach right now. His team is in Colorado, high school team. They just won second in state, but he's kind of a dynasty coach kind of a guy.
Mhm.
And some of the really, really serious players in high school pre-elect to get the surgery done.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's
That is
wild.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would do that.
Yeah, I don't think that. Well, you didn't do it. You did the PRP.
Yeah.
So for anybody listening, like if you've only heard of Tommy John, sounds like there might be an alternative. That's
Definitely
is against it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think nowadays too, with training and how much there is out there, like there's a lot of ways to prevent it. A lot of guys are throwing harder nowadays.
Yeah.
Everybody's throwing 95 to 100.
I was gonna say, yeah, he has a kid on his team that's like 17 and can throw in the high 90s.
It's unbelievable. Like guys are able to throw these days.
Yeah.
With where
I haven't even driven 90 miles an hour in the last years. It's insane to me.
Yeah, no,
That's not
Yeah.
We drove 90 miles an hour the other day.
In my Tesla. Yeah. Okay, question for you. So who did you get drafted by out of UT?
San Francisco Giants.
The Giants.
Bro, I was so full transparency, not a huge baseball fan, but the team I did love was the Giants. And it was what was the guy's name?
Cecil
The weird guy.
Brian Wilson.
Oh,
Brian Wilson. He started becoming really popular. I was just like, that guy's so sick.
I love baseball in the 80s, like 1988,
Yeah.
and that was Oakland A's. So when you said the A's, because it was all about Mark McGwire, Jose Canseco.
Oh, yeah.
I had Bash Brothers posters. I had 2 6-foot posters of Mark McGwire and Jose Canseco, and I lived in Tracy, California at the time. So so it's like you're all about the A's.
I did like baseball
Yeah.
young, because I grew up in Washington, right outside of Seattle, about an hour outside of Seattle. And so I remember when I did watch a lot of baseball, it was during the Ken Griffey Jr., Alex Rodriguez.
They were pretty good.
Yeah, all of those guys. And that was fun to watch as a kid.
Yeah.
Going to the games, being young.
Edgar Martinez.
Oh, yeah. Edgar
Yeah,
Martinez.
this is like pre-Ichiro, but
Jay Buhner.
pre-Ichiro.
Best baseball player ever.
Who's the new guy? There's a new guy from Japan that has like $1 billion contract or something like that. What's it?
Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah.
Who does he play for?
He's with the Dodgers now.
The Dodgers. And what position is he?
He's a two-way. He throws 100+ miles an hour.
Stop.
He hits home runs like nobody's business.
Dude, that's
insane. It's very insane.
And he is not only does he do that, he's the best pitcher in the big leagues, and he's also the best hitter.
Stop.
That's insane, dude. That's like another level.
I thought pitchers, and this could be my pure baseball ignorance, but I thought pitchers didn't hit. Is that a thing?
It is. It is a thing, and it's like you have POs, so pitcher only. And when you get into pro ball, typically that's why I mentioned that I was a two-way guy at high school, because going into college, you know, pro, they want you to specialize in one thing because guys are so good. They're so good at hitting, or they're so good at pitching.
Yeah,
you got to really. It's like the saying, like jack of all trades, master of none.
Yeah,
you got all this to focus on. You'll never be like the best big leaguer, the best talent. But there's guys that are doing
it. Can we talk as lay people among like a professional here? Like what I understand about being a pitcher, it's like being a quarterback. Like it's a very, very expensive, important position, and so they almost don't want to risk you running the bases.
It makes sense. I understand.
Exactly.
Yeah, because like you have to think like baseball is the only game where the defense has the ball the whole time.
Right.
You know, in fact, if the offense touches the ball, they're out. Like so it's the pitcher's job to make sure that nobody can touch the ball.
Yeah.
Unless I throw it and hits him right in the back.
There you go. So anyway, it's really interesting. Also, that I'm into baseball facts because I have a bunch of baseball friends. But baseball rose to become America's sport, like not during the time of television, but during the time of radio, and that's actually one of the reasons why they've had to make rules recently in baseball to sort of speed up the game, because it was designed around radio. You know, imagine trying to call like a football soccer game over the radio. You know, somebody has the ball, but whereas baseball, the cadence to it is slower. Yeah. So that's actually one of the reasons why it took so long for them to kind of put in rules to speed up the game.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, interesting, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so you got drafted by the Giants, and so what happens next? You get drafted, do you get on a plane and go play? Like, what happens?
Yeah, so I'm signing in the 13th round, and it was.
Did you like hold up the jersey and the whole thing, or did you get to do that?
I didn't do. Typically, the jersey stuff is like the first, second, third rounders. They go, they sign, they do.
So you would have got to do that in high school.
I would have flown to New York. I would have flown to the stadium in New York and done the whole thing.
Yeah.
No doubt. So it's okay, but you basically get the call. You're sitting there on the computer. They call you up and hey, you want to sign in this round? You want to do this? And you're like, yeah, money's right.
Oh, they talk money right there.
Right there. Yeah, they're discussing like, hey, will you accept this? And you have to maybe just say, yeah, I'll take it, or your agent does it for you.
Got it.
So I'm sitting there and they call me. I remember I was actually at my brother's house at the time. I was in California, and they call me. I go through the whole process, and then after that, they say, "Okay, cool. We'll talk to you in a couple of days. You sign. Your name pops up on the draft board, like Tyler Schimpf, San Francisco Giants. This pick, this round. You're pumped. Everybody's pumped. And then I went and actually bought a Giants hat that day. Like my brother and I went and got a hat and did the whole thing. Kind of celebrated ourselves. And then I left like in the next few weeks, and they sent me to Arizona. And you show up to Scottsdale, which is where the Giants spring training facility is. And they do all your physicals, your exams, because then they decide whether or not if you go in and you do your physicals and you have something wrong, they'll actually they can say, I know we're not going to sign you, or they can take money away or whatever. That friends actually have that happen. They sign for like a couple $100,000, and then they do their X-rays and everything. Like, yeah, we're going to go and take $100K away because you have this issue.
Oh wow,
crazy.
And you just agree to that on the front end, like on the phone call, knowing that if you go there and that happens.
Absolutely, it's definitely a risk.
Wow.
Definitely is a risk. So,
yeah.
So typically, you know where you're at. Like, you know you're gonna. If you're throwing well, you're feeling good. You typically know where you're at. What's gonna happen. So, if you're injured going into it, you're kind of like, well, that might be an issue. You kind of like have an idea prep for it. So yeah, they send you to Arizona. They get all your stuff done, and you play there for a couple of weeks. Just kind of get gear, get your feet wet, get used to the game. At a pro level, and then they ship you off for me, which at the time was rookie ball in Salem Kaiser, Oregon.
For the Volcanoes.
For the Salem Kaiser Volcanoes.
Yeah. When you were playing in Arizona, because you just got done playing at UT,
yes.
Did you notice it? Was it a different level? Were the guys better, or was it about the same?
Yeah. College ball is definitely different than pro ball. Just the style of game.
Yeah.
The way that everybody approaches it. The approaches that they have. And the level of play is obviously a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
It's more professional.
Are people throwing harder than the pros, or is it just
not all the time? Like there's, especially nowadays, guys throw so hard at college ball. It's crazy. They swing so well, but you can definitely tell the guys that are gonna have. He's pretty successful in pro ball.
Yeah,
pretty early on while they're in college.
Yeah.
But once you get to pro ball, you walk around like I feel like I'm a decent sized person.
Yeah.
And I walk in there and I'm just feeling like the smallest.
Yeah, I sized you up a little bit. I sized you up a little bit when we were shaking hands. You probably handle some. You probably handle some. Yeah, you probably throw hard. I mean, I when you were playing in Arizona, were you playing among anyone that would go on to be like Ichiro? Like, did you?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, that's what the coolest part. So many of my friends are in the big leagues right now.
So cool.
It's like, I'm sure you follow baseball. You know who Logan Webb is?
Yeah, I do.
Logan Webb and I grew up together. And
Logan, invitation to be on the podcast.
Logan,
come to Coeur d'Alene with your friend Tyler and come be on the podcast.
But the cool part is like everybody's just so amazing. You know, like your friends, you're all rooting for each other, and
that's so cool.
I just still like now I get to watch them all have success, and I don't text them all of the time because it's during the season. You don't want to be always messaging with them, and you just want them to focus on doing their things. When you're in it, you know how tough it is mentally.
Yeah,
it's a daily battle just to stay on track and mentally, win that battle. Going out there to throw, it's the game is so mental.
Yeah,
so you never want to mess with someone's like vibes or streaks or whatever it is. So I'm like, wait till they reach out to me. Shoot them a text in the off season, like connect, whatever that is. But lots of friends that ended up that I played with are either on different teams and different organizations, or in the big leagues or having success in minor leagues. So it was fun to build that community. So
when you went to the Volcanoes, you're there playing knowing you're going to be on the Giants, right? At this point,
not knowing I'm going to be on the Giants because you have to earn your spot on the big league team.
Got it. So you're getting drafted
organization.
Okay,
and they have levels. So
is it called like a feeder team, right? Or
minor league baseball. MILB versus MLB.
Okay, so they draft you, and then they're like, "All right, go earn your stripes."
Yeah, but you're in the San Francisco Giants organization.
Oh wow!
Like you're
so the Volcanoes are in the Giants.
Exactly, it's professional baseball. They're in the San Francisco Giants. It's their team, right?
Got it.
That's a level where they feed and they teach you so much. You have experience. You have fun with. You're traveling on buses and all over the Pacific Northwest, you're going to different teams, and then you start building up like this is what Pro Bowl is. This is what it feels like to travel on a bus. And you're on a bus with 40 plus guys, and it's 100 degrees on the bus. There's no AC. And everybody's got their shirts off because they're sweating on the floor sleeping. And you're on a 17-hour bus ride. You play 3 games. When I first started, you played 3 games.
Yeah.
And then you would post third game, you would get on the bus and drive 14, 15 hours wherever you're going. And you show up to the next hotel, you fall asleep for 2 hours, wake up, get on the bus, and go back to the field by 1 o'clock to have pitchers stretch at 3 to get ready for the game at 7. And you just threw the night before, and you've already traveled 17 hours on the bus.
Yeah, that's rough.
You're eating a Subway sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everybody's like, "Oh, it's a blessing to play Pro Bowl," and it's like, no doubt about it. I'm so thankful for the opportunity that San Francisco gave me, and even Texas, and just getting to have that experience was such a blessing. But it was a grind.
Yeah, but
it's not like a glorious experience. You don't fly until AAA.
Right.
So there's all of them. You have rookie ball, and you have low A, high A, double A, triple A. Nowadays, after COVID, they kind of like went down on teams. They minimized players and organizations and teams, so they have A ball, double A, and triple A now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then spring training is obviously for the Giants is in Arizona. For other teams, it's in Florida.
Got it.
Yeah, it's crazy. How many years did you play in the Volcanoes or for the Volcanoes?
So for the Volcanoes, I was there for 2 seasons. My first season, and then the next season I ended up making the roster for the low A team in Augusta, Georgia, and I played there for a couple months. And they demoted me back to Salem Kaiser, so flew me back across the country. It was a funny story. We were on a road trip actually, and I brought a little bag with like a pair of pants, a couple shirts, and we were going to be there for 6 days. So I just had very, very minimal amount of clothing.
Yeah.
And all my stuff was 14 hours away in Augusta. And they're like, "Hey, we're going to send you back to Salem. Like, you're just going tomorrow. Your flight leaves in like 6 hours." So I had this bag to survive off of, and I kept that bag of clothing. Like I said, I like a little uncomfortable. I kept that bag of clothing, and I had that corner locker for the next 4 months, and I was just grinding, putting the work in every day, and it actually ended up being such an amazing experience. Like, got to run a couple of Bible studies with some buddies, and my favorite was like the people that you got to meet. Like, so many of my friends are from other countries.
Yeah.
Cuba, Venezuela, like so many different areas around the world. Venezuela, like just it was Dominican Republic. I mean, it was so awesome and learning language and so many guys do not speak English very well.
Yeah.
So it was really fun to be able to build friendships. Like some of my best friends to this day hardly speak English, and we just have so much fun.
Communicate the emoji.
Communicate, yeah, emoji, or just find a way to talk. And I always try to learn language and dive into it. And they bring food, and we just all enjoy it. They taught me they taught me different foods.
Cool.
So it was a really fun experience,
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So then after Salem, I ended up getting promoted back to Augusta by the end of the year.
Wow.
So I headed back to Augusta, and then I played in what they call the Arizona Fall League that October, which is like kind of for guys that they think are going to be able to promote quickly and get to the big leagues. I think I was more so a filler guy. Like they needed a spot filled, and they just wanted to see me play a little more.
Okay.
So that's what I did, and that's for like a month in Arizona. You play with the best of the best. Those guys were all going to the big leagues. They were first rounders, so it was a really good experience.
Wow.
And then after that, that next season, that following season, I made it to Eugene, which was our high A team. So I played in Eugene, and then played there the entire season, and then made it back to spring training. Had a good spring training, threw in big league spring training games a few times, did pretty well in those. They sent me out to Double A, which is Richmond, Virginia. So I'm in Double A.
It's crazy. Their teams are all over the.
All over
Yeah,
the country.
yeah.
All over the country.
Yeah.
And then they have a AAA team in Sacramento.
Yeah.
Um,
The Lasers. I don't know the name of this name.
Sacramento Rookets.
Close, though. It's a good guess. Yeah.
Tennessee Nasty Cats.
They have the funniest minor league baseball names.
They do. Yeah.
Oh, they crack you up.
Yeah.
There's like the Trash Pandas. Yeah.
Amazing. I wouldn't watch the Chuckers game.
A Chuckers.
A
Your
Chuckers game.
Checkers,
Yeah.
Montana. What are they're like the Glacier Riders or Glacier
Yeah,
Riders,
there's
something like that.
amazing.
So they're all like pretty much independently owned teams,
Yeah.
right? So you just it's a bit someone's business.
Yeah.
They just the Giants kind of like
Yeah.
lease through them basically.
Yeah. Do you know who the Chuckers team is? That's in like Idaho.
I don't know.
Oh, well,
is it a minor league? Is it an affiliate or
Great question. They have a stadium, so I don't know.
because they have these like professional leagues
Yeah.
outside of Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
So
my a quick story about the Checkers. So my daughter was singing national anthem, and she was competing for Miss Idaho in the Miss America circuit, and she is actually a great singer. And none of the other gals there was like 12 of them could really sing, and so they kind of elected Juliet, my oldest daughter, like, why don't you lead out? And she never practiced before in the stadium, and there's a pretty substantial echo, and the monitoring is not really good. So I'm sitting there. I think I have it on video somewhere. I'm filming her. I'm right behind home plate, and they start singing, and it is potentially the worst she's ever done. It is so bad that she's laughing at herself. She's like, she's on a mic and it's going through the whole stadium, and she's like, oh, sick, oh no. And then the girls behind her are supposed to like supportively sing, and they're just all in different keys. And literally, someone next to me said, "This is what's wrong with the country." So there you go. I love it. Total. I know. Like, this is what's wrong with the country. So my daughter desecrated our national anthem at the Checkers game. I love you, Juliet. She still laughs about it. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
I've been part of some very interesting national anthems. I'll tell you.
Yeah. Yes.
The Chuckers.
We always graded on this.
Yeah, they were in Idaho Falls.
Yeah.
The
Idaho
Chuckers.
Falls over this.
The Chuckers. Their affiliation is with the Kansas City Royals,
Oh, okay.
but it also says they're not affiliated with the MLB at all.
We're affiliated with Kansas City Royals.
That makes
Although,
zero
at the same time, not affiliated anywhere.
The paragraph says the Chuckers are an independent baseball team of the Pioneer League.
Okay,
It's not
they're a
affiliated.
mini ball team.
Andy Ball.
Okay.
It's okay to mess up the national
Quick
anthem.
facts.
Andy
It
Ball.
says affiliation Kansas City Royals. I don't know.
They're not going to have like a Tyler quality player and,
Oh my gosh! No, I played independent baseball. It's all
Oh,
good.
never mind.
Yeah, a
Yeah,
lot of guys-
strike that from the record.
Yeah, a lot of guys. That was once I got done playing with the Giants. Like that's a way to go back and you keep playing.
Yeah.
You get other teams to see you. Like it's just an opportunity. I played in just outside of Wisconsin for the Lake Country Dockhounds.
The top towns.
Yeah,
That is
yeah. So
They go hard. Yeah, absolutely. I love
independent balls was a different beast. You kind of run your own schedule. You do your thing. Yeah,
Go when you want, throw the ball
Half
hard.
the time we didn't have a pitching coach there. It's like, hey, you good to go today? It's just like, everything.
Sure.
Why don't you sing the national anthem too?
That's right.
It's awesome.
So, anyways, where did you leave off? You went back to Augusta.
Oh yeah, so I made it out. This was double A, so I made it out to double A, and I played decent the first month, and then I kind of just went to like they said, hey, my goal was to throw as hard as I possibly can and have my curveball work as best as it can. That was what I focused on. So I ended up getting my fastball upper 90s, 99. Think that was like my hardest pitch ever. It was 99. And still a little frustrated. I don't think I hit that 100.
Yeah, you want to get the 100.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
Part of
How tall are you?
6'4".
6'4".
Yeah.
You got that's a lot of leverage.
Decent, yeah.
Yeah, it's decent.
It's decent.
So it wasn't Nolan Ryan 6. He was tall.
I think he's pretty big.
Yeah, he was pretty tall.
He's a pretty big kid.
Randy Johnson, super tall.
That guy has all the leverage in the world.
Oh, it's
another
a
guy right now.
physics issue, not a strength.
There's a guy in the movies right now, Paul Skeens. He was the first overall pick to the Pirates,
Mhm.
and he's like 100, 102, 103. He hit entire start, and he's like 6'8", and he's just big old body.
Yeah, just lasers it in there. Have you seen that picture right now? I think he pitches for the Yankees, I want to say. And he does the like false windups and stuff.
Yes.
What is that guy's name?
Yes.
He kind of has like a dad bod, and he's just like faking it. Then
He does all these like he comes up and he's like pausing and he does these like different movements and then he goes.
That's amazing. They actually just called him in a recent game for a hindrance because he did a pump fake. He literally
did a pump fake.
He pump faked.
He came set and then he lifts his leg and he's like,
Yeah.
ball. And the umpires didn't know what to do. They're
I
like,
love it. Yeah.
It's
amazing.
right?
The pump fake is not, but the wind up. So they're having to, because of this one dude, that that's how it goes, right? Like you're out in life,
he's different. He's challenging.
Yeah, he's built different. So you
built different.
you see a sign, and it's like, oh, someone broke this rule before. That's why they have to have a sign. So they're having to reiterate the rules because, like in baseball, well, in all sports, in baseball, like the wind up is described in the rules, like. You have to, your foot has to be parallel to the plate.
Right.
There's a whole thing, and that's what a balk is, right?
Yeah.
A balk is when you break the wind up. To where the runner. Anyway, yeah.
But he's pump faking it.
He's pump faking it.
Throwing the boys off.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you should have considered sort of a pump fake kind of situation. You can't break a 100.
Well, I have a guy. One of my buddies in the big leagues right now. He's with the Giants. Brian Walker. One of the most incredible pitchers I've ever seen. Let alone human beings.
Yeah,
unreal.
I call him Walker, Texas Ranger.
Oh yeah, Walker. So, and he's a solid believer as well. He's a good cat. He throws like sidearm, but he steps across his entire body. So he comes set and he's completely like set up sideways, and then he steps across the. So if you're a right-handed batter, he's basically stepping to your left, like over your shoulder. Looks like he's stepping to third base. And he throws across his body, so he throws back. So the ball is coming from the third baseman.
It's probably masked pretty well too.
And he throws a nasty slider, and let alone he throws like mid to upper 90s, and it's disgusting. One of the guys we're playing against, he asked me, he goes, dude, who taught that guy how to pitch? He goes, he needs to stop teaching you guys how to pitch. I can't hit.
Okay, for people who don't know anything, tell us really quickly the difference between like a curveball, a slider, and a
Well, those are called off-speed pitches, Daniel.
Yeah, I do know that.
That's about all.
Yeah,
That's pretty good. That's really all. It's just really disrupting timing as best as you possibly can. They all do it in their own way. Some of them. So this thing, I don't want to get too into detail, but with pitching, it's called tunneling, and you want all your pitches to kind of come out of the same. If I just drew a circle, you want your pitches to come out of the same spot, so the hitter thinks, "Oh, it's a fastball." In the last second, it's just, "Oh, it's breaking this direction." Sliders can be thrown harder. Curveballs, they can be thrown harder. Curveballs have a little bit different shape to them. Sometimes they're pretty similar, but it's all just a variation. Whatever you're good at doing, but sliders, curveballs, changeups are
what's
one of the best pitches in baseball. Actually, I've heard so many people talk about, hey, what's the best pitch in baseball? And changeup, no doubt, because it just looks like especially if you can make it look like your fastball, like out of your hand, and then it's all about the grip, and it really just.
What's the changeup do?
The changeup is supposed to like.
So many guys,
it's just
everybody's got their stuff. Just is so unique. Like I've had some buddies that play with you, which have incredible, nasty pitches, and they just do these random things. I'm like, how do you throw that? And they're just like, dude, I don't know. I just do it naturally.
just
Like, wow, cool, that's awesome. So I have no chance.
I would want to name my pitches.
Yeah, I know you kind of give names, but yeah, the changeup basically just comes off like a fastball, and it either dives or it sinks. So it'd be like if you're a righty, it kind of sinks into a right-hander's foot. A lefty, it kind of fades away. So, yep, slider can be coming to your hip, and then it kind of shoots across the zone, and more of like in like a sliding fashion. Just trying to make it a simple layman's term there.
No, yeah, it's perfect.
It literally just slides across the plate, and then curveball. I threw a 12-6. So imagine a clock literally goes from 12 to 6 on the clock.
Oh wow!
So it was over the top. So I was an over top guy, so it would just come straight down, and it would just go.
So you're holding that lace, and then
I threw
the lace is doing like wind resistance.
Exactly, and I would spin the ball forward. So fastballs are all backspin, and I would spin the ball, and it would topspin like this, and it would just come like a fastball, and then poof,
Like just sink.
That's sick.
that was because it looks like a heater, and then it just goes down like
Yeah.
It's
Dude, I want to throw a heater right now.
I also would mix in an knuckleball every once in a while.
Really? Is that like where you?
I would just spike my fingers.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, when you're not feeling, because sometimes you go out there,
Because those kind of rise,
you start having
right?
your best. They just go like this. They just go everywhere. So my catchers hate me. I'm like,
that.
like they would run through the signs. This was like fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, and then he would go because he knew I want to throw the knuckleball.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Dude, throw you up.
no. He's like, no. You sure? No. And he's like, all right. I mean, because in guys that throw knuckleballs in the big leagues, they wear big mitts
Yeah.
because they're professional catchers and they cannot catch these things, so they have to like, get lucky because at the
Wow.
last second they move so much.
Yeah.
And mine was okay. It wasn't like a 10 weight.
And that's just using turbulence, right?
Exactly. It's just the way you release it, like your wrist and everything, and it really is a pitch you kind of just have to have.
Yeah.
It's so hard to learn.
I have that.
They manipulate the ball. Yeah, so it would just.
The big leagues are lucky I didn't shoot for it. It's like that's so nasty.
I do remember pitching in Spokane, and I gave up the biggest home run of my life throwing a knuckleball. I was like, all right, here it comes.
Here
This
comes
guy must knew it. And he hit this thing. I still think this ball's going. I mean, I'm like looking at this thing just going, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's sweet. So there's a catcher right now in the MLBs. I can't remember who he plays for in the majors, but he is so far up on the plate that recently a batter hit
Hit the glove.
Yeah.
Obstruction.
Yeah, that's like a thing that catchers can do
You
to
don't
grab
want that.
that
You
late.
don't want that either.
It's a little bit like he's being a rascal.
Just be a little scoundrel.
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. Hey, go back to the beginning and get in people's heads. The catcher's up on you. Like,
That's what
there's ways to do it.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
It's part of the
But it helps him frame, I guess, better. Framing is where like you.
There's so many. They all have
Yeah.
their systems, and their work. Those guys work so hard. Like actually seeing what they do, and then working with the catching instructors.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Well, and I don't know if Greg knows this or not, but I'm gonna tell him about it.
Please continue.
This comes from my. We were on a business call, and a lot of times baseball players or athletes will use like their athletics as the example, and they're really good parallels between business and athletics all the time.
Yeah.
But one of the things he was talking about, because he's a catcher and now he's a coach, is they try to wear the pitcher out, and so they teach the batters to like just to defend the plate and make them throw as many pitches as you can. Yeah, because it's just an amount of like you can just wear out their best guy.
Exactly. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter who he is.
Doesn't matter.
Just foul it off, get up on the plate,
So
get
if
his
you've ever
head.
been to a baseball game, like, why are you keep hitting foul balls? They're literally doing it on purpose a lot of the time.
There's so
That's
much
crazy.
more to baseball than I ever thought.
Oh, it's actually really complex.
It's,
Like,
it's incredible.
it's
just
super
thought
fun.
it'd show up, hit ball, catch ball,
No,
run.
no.
Run.
It's like
That's it.
yeah.
It's a smart man's game for
pitch
sure.
count. It's called pitch count. So
Mhm.
there's a whole a style of pitching that like trains for endurance over speed, so they can have high pitch counts.
Yeah.
There's
Well, the thing with it is, well, even just from the pitching standpoint, is you have to learn how to read batters, learn where their hands are at, wherever they're high, if they're low, however they're set up in the box, if they're up in the box, back in the box. You have to be able to go pitch to pitch. So if I throw a pitch and I set him up, say I throw him like a heater, I got to know, all right, if he fouls it off, I know where he fouled it off at. Really have to watch where the ball goes, pay attention to where he hit it.
he's behind or he's
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. And I have to guess, all right, I think he's kind of looking for this pitch.
Yeah.
And I have to try to guess around him
Yeah.
and use him. Yeah.
Yeah, I played race a little bit in Little League. We're different levels, but it was pretty fun.
It was a pretty good.
It's constantly thinking. It's literally like playing MLB The Show.
Yeah.
Like you feel like you're
such a good game.
like you feel like you're playing a video game.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of guys actually would play the show because it really is practice.
Okay.
It's sweet. It's legit. So if you're younger and you're playing games, like I'm not saying go play video games.
Yeah.
I don't play video games, but guys do play video games, and I remember jumping
We
on
play
it.
a lot of video games.
I'm like, this feels like mental practice because we would have a day of mental coaches come in and work on some stuff with us, and it'd be like, you'd have a piece of paper and you're literally doing a lot of visualization. Like I would take the ball and I would visualize it coming out of my hand backwards and then forward back into the glove.
Dang.
And I would do all my pitches like that. I would like just do a lot of visualization work because it's obviously any edge you get, like I'm
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Absolutely. Okay, what other questions do we have? Because I know we're getting close to time.
So a couple people asked me
Yeah.
questions. One of them, let's go with, tell me about your training mentality, work ethic, and where did that come from? I feel like we kind of touched on that a bit. It sounds like a lot of the work ethic came from your dad. I mean, the story you told of eating, your Egos and watching cartoons and your dad coming in, just the subtle, like, there's kids in LA that probably really swinging, like, bro, what a gangster thing to do like that,
Yes.
Like, I got
Then I'd go hit until my hands bleed.
yeah, just hammer it out, It's at least for me. I mean, like I took that to heart instantly because my son's 3, right? He'll be 3 in a week, and I've got the one. And
There's a 3-year-old in LA. Practicing right now.
there's a 3-year-old in LA. I'm explaining it to you, and Jackie's over here playing in dirts. Yeah, like it sounds like a lot of it came from your dad, but where else? Like coming into your 20s now, like how do you? What would you say you've done to hold on to like just that mentality, that work ethic?
Well, I mentioned a lot about my family. I think it's a very important thing for me that we've all pushed each other, and my family's very, very motivated, and they're all just crushing it in every area of their life. So it's like easy to be able to. I don't want to hold my own throughout that process.
Yeah.
Also, I definitely do operate a little bit differently than a lot of people that I'm around. I just have noticed that naturally. I have coming from where I've come from absolutely has an impact on why I do function that way. But I always knew that I was going to be like I was cut out for more than just baseball, and how I could find ways to continue to grow outside of baseball.
Yeah.
I loved playing baseball. I still love baseball. And how could I make impacts like my dad made when he passed away? How could I make continued lasting impacts on people's lives?
Yeah.
And I just know that with who I am, I just go, okay, if I understand what it takes to get to certain levels and play. I don't know everything. I don't know.
Right.
Like I could definitely take younger kids and I could basically get them an opportunity. Get them I've done so many pitching lessons in Southern California.
Yeah.
And I've helped a lot of kids, and the process of it is more. It's more than just baseball. It's about life. It's about experience. It's about how you treat your buddies and how you guys act on a team and how you hold yourself accountable with what you do every day. So being able to make those impacts, those are lasting. Those don't go away.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah.
I've always enjoyed, to answer your question, I've always enjoyed the sense of like all of us building together in the community. That kind of pushes me to keep going,
Yeah.
That's cool.
right? So if I can continue to push myself and keep growing, and I get to see like my brother or a friend of mine reach out and say, "Hey man, I really love your stuff, your content, whatever it is you're doing."
Yeah.
I just like
Do you make content again?
I'm like so brand new to the game.
Nice.
I have like no followers, but I would love to find a way to make an impact in the area.
Yeah.
Because just like
Sure,
the social
yeah.
media world is, there's just so much going on there.
Yeah.
And I want to do it with like pure intentions and
Yeah.
just raw stuff.
Yeah, and just be yourself.
And exactly, it's just like be myself completely. I actually just got my socials back. I hadn't had it for like 4 years, so
Yeah.
Wow.
I was off the
How
grid.
did you ever figure out what's going on in life? That's a joke.
Yeah.
It's just such a big
Friends, you gotta text me.
Yeah.
You gotta
Yeah.
You gotta call me. But yeah, taking all that stuff and leaving baseball, I got crazier with all my stuff. Like I was a guy in pro ball where I was like, I had all the modalities, I had all the work ethic. I would show up every day, and I would like the way I worked in baseball was I was a madman. Like everybody knew that, whether no matter what we did, like I felt that every day I show up, like I just got to be a professional. I got to show up and put the work in every day.
Right.
And like I never wanted to finish my career go, man, I could have like done this a little bit better. And I had nothing to say on that because I gave it everything I had. I did all the prep work. I ate as good as I could. Yeah, with what I had, I did as much with sleep, nutrition, like literally as much as I possibly could control. I controlled the things that I couldn't control.
Mhm.
Well, those are how that stuff goes. Like it's just
Yeah.
out of your hands. So you gotta
Yeah.
let it go.
Yeah.
And but whether it was mentality, whether it was like how you show up to the field every day, how you carry yourself. That was the most important part of me, and I just let it kind of lead me out of pro ball and now into this new world of endurance and training. I've always loved to train. I've always been that pitcher on the team where the whole organization knew who I was when it came to fitness. They knew I loved it. They knew I was passionate about it. Whenever we did events, it was like Schimpf. They called me Robo Schimpf. That was like my nickname. They're like he literally doesn't stop.
Yeah,
And
awesome.
it was fun to just be able to make the impact and like push guys because I had buddies. And it wasn't even about like, oh, look at me. It was like no, we're all putting that work in.
Yeah.
You know, like, that was fun.
Okay,
So,
I have my last baseball related question, but because I want to talk a little bit about your career and what you're doing now.
Sure.
Last baseball related question for me: you said you still love baseball? You said that a few minutes ago. By that, do you mean you just have appreciation for the game, or do you like get into a church league and just pound those guys in the ground? Just beat it, just throw a 90-mile-an-hour heater in a church game.
yeah, I told him, I was like, if I were to go play, I would not be a pitcher. I would definitely just hit. I'd be like, put me in the outfield, put me in the infield, but I'm going to hit.
Oh my gosh, I'd be like, put me on the mound. I'm gonna
Yeah.
wreck some dudes.
I'm gonna win.
There's some dads that are gonna just wish.
Well, when you've thrown as many pitches as I have,
Yeah.
probably, yeah. I'm like, I don't know if my elbow would work anymore.
Do you ever? I guess my question, jokingly, is, do you ever play anymore? Like,
So currently, no. Once I got done playing, I kind of just totally removed myself.
okay,
I had a tough time watching baseball, if I'm being honest.
wow.
Just it's your identity. It's who you are. You're a professional
Yeah.
baseball player.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're not anymore. And
Yeah.
you go, wait, what am I training for? What do I do? What am I going to do for work? How do I, like, who am I in life anymore?
Yeah.
And it's a weird transition period, and people
Yeah.
struggle so much with it.
Oh, yeah.
Thankfully, I'm a believer, so I had that.
You had a purpose beyond
I
that.
have a purpose well beyond that. So like my
Yeah.
life was, it's hard, but I understand what's going on.
And that's a perfect segue to my next question. Is like, speaking of the purpose of your life now, what are you up to? What's your career? What's your passion? What's next?
Yeah, so my passions are, it's hard to put a finger on exactly what my passion is. I just love waking up and getting after it every day.
Yeah.
Really, it's my favorite thing. And I know that if I continue to do that and keep trusting where God's got me right now, like it's gonna pan out at some point, regardless of what it is. I love being able to be here and meet you guys. Over the past couple of years after pro ball, I've gotten some awesome opportunities just building community and friendships and building. And now I signed up for as soon as I got on play, I signed up for a marathon. Pressed into that, loved it. Then I got on the marathon, and I met one of my best friends this day. He climbs mountains all over the world. He's a mountaineer, and he's done some wild stuff, like all these triathlons. He's had a couple of world records in certain events. Just a really interesting guy, and I just love being around people like that can push me every single day.
What's his world record?
Burpees and
No stops.
Dude, that's
What's that record like?
insane. It was something
How many?
ridiculous. We can Google exactly what the numbers are. I don't want to do him injustice.
Is it like over 100?
Oh it's over.
No, is it over?
It's well into the thousands.
No
About
shot.
10,000.
How do you not like?
It is absolutely
Keel
insane.
over.
We can look him up.
That's insane.
Should I mention his name?
Yeah, of course you can.
His name is Cameron Dorn. He's gonna hear this and
Yeah.
because he's the most humble dude.
Literally, you type in his name, and the first thing is Cameron Dorn, burpee world record.
Exactly. Yeah.
I wanted to get a world record for making the world's longest sandwich. Cameron and I are different, but we were really planning to get it. It's a mile long, by the way.
He also did box step ups, and it was like 8,000 or 10,000 or something like that in like 8 hours. It was insane. But his burpees were within 24 hours or something.
24 hours. Do you want to take a guess at what his burpee count was?
Well, I know it's more than 100 now.
So I will tell you it is definitely over
5,000.
Okay. And you need to throw a number? Do you know the number?
I don't remember the number. I can't remember if it was like 20,000 or something.
No.
It's 10,105 in 24 hours.
Did he throw up? Or he had to.
There's
So
no chance.
he actually said he felt like he could have kept pushing and he could have kept going. He said he felt fine the entire time, kept it at zone 2 the entire time. Zone 2 is your heart rate, wherever it lies. Like for us, it's all different. My zone 2 would be like 125 to 140, 52 beats per minute just with age. And you do 180 minus your age. That's your zone 2 heart rate. That's where you are. My
Sure, remind me to get his own too.
Zone 2. Just plug that in real quick.
Yeah.
So he's like, dude, I just sat in zone 2 and I just crushed it. He's like, I lost fingernails. My knuckles were all bloody.
No.
Yeah.
That's real. He lost fingernails. 10,000.
Yeah, he's like, I was messed up from it, but it's a Guinness World Record.
Yeah. What's the next closest guy? You know what I mean? Like,
Don't even 100.
I knew I was close.
So anyway, so I meet this guy.
Mine is
And
in 15
I actually met him
minutes.
because I was doing box step lifts, and he's like, "Hey, that's a good workout." We started chatting, and then all of a sudden we just became best friends. And he's like climbed a couple mountains next to K2 without oxygen. Like he's a legit mountaineer, and he's an explorer. He's like a modern day explorer. So cool.
There's no invitation on podcast.
Yeah. We need to have him on the podcast.
Dude, that'd be
No doubt.
crazy
So
stories.
we're actually he owns a house in Washington, up in Port Angeles.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm going there Monday. And he calls me and he goes, "Hey, bro." He's like, because we all run these massive mountains in Laguna Beach, these huge hills, and we'll just go up and just do like 4,000 feet of elevation and just go out for a couple hours and just run straight up.
That's bonkers.
Yeah, it's crazy. So many guys I've ever met in my life
Yeah.
that like I'm actually like holding onto a shirt. Like, come on, bro. You go, hold back a second. Like I never really had that before. I've always had to be like waiting on.
Yeah.
And it's just
You'd be waiting on me, Greg.
Oh, so this guy. Yeah. So he really does push me in all areas of life. But yeah. So we're going to Washington. We're gonna do. He goes. We're gonna bring a pack, some gels, and we're gonna make straw.
What are gels?
Gels like it's fuel. Like for example,
Oh,
my
yeah.
Primus that it's fuel. So
This called Primus?
that's called Primus. It's just honey and salt.
What?
This is so I would take these. Like I'm gonna take these tomorrow, and it's just energy, electrolytes, carbohydrates, a little bit of sugars.
So this is just like
Oh, it is.
a little juicy juice booster.
Exactly. So this is raw honey. So the whole thing with nowadays with food, I love nutrition.
Can I eat this?
I think we should all have a little bit of a taste right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
A little bit of a Primus.
I guess I'm gonna taste it. But
Yeah.
I
Let's all do a little.
So this is
Yeah. So Primus is brand new.
Dude,
A buddy of mine
Do you
is
just
the
handle the whole
creator
thing?
behind all of it.
I kind of want you to eat it because I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of scooting it up and
scoot. Oh, okay.
yep, kind of just press it out. That's raw honey and salt.
Well, that's so good.
It's so good. I put it on everything. So we're gonna have some major energy right now. We're all gonna be really fired up. I also do everything.
You should eat the whole thing, right?
You can have the entire thing.
I know the whole thing, bro.
Have the entire thing.
This is shockingly
I
tasty.
know. So here's the deal, and this is actually honey from a farm in Temecula. And
Hey. I eat the one. Okay.
yep. So it's all raw honey.
Bro. This is insanely good. You make this? I mean, you have it made. For
Exactly. And it's been an absolute game changer over the
Dude, I
course
knew
of
this
the last
was good.
couple events. But
About
my buddy
like
Brian is the creator behind the entire thing.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's tasty.
Yep.
Where do people? Where can I get these on Amazon or where can I get them?
Yes, you can go Primus.com and you can get these. Also, if you follow Primus on Instagram, they you can order straight from the website as well.
This is so smart for like hiking and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then if you follow me, I'm
You're
always
doing it.
promoting it.
Hiking in a park. Eating my Primus.
You're just crushing the Primus.
Just crushing the Primus.
Hey, that's what it's for. So here's the idea behind it: is just having fuel that's clean, healthy, and really unaltered. Because there's so much out there now. There's tasty, easy. There's so much out there now that has all like nutrition and supplements. They have added gums, added sugar, added artificial flavoring, and this is just natural food. This is how it comes. This is this is incredible. So I'm so thankful for it. And
it had minerals in the sea salt too.
Here we go. So this thing's fully loaded.
It's got 17 carbs.
Dude,
That's all I got. That's as far as I got.
Yep.
70 calories.
That's 125 milligrams of sodium, 17 grams of carbohydrates, 17 grams of sugar, and I will be crushing about 10 of these tomorrow in my race. They will just be. I will do them every 20 minutes. I'm just gonna house one.
But like, you don't have anything to really digest, which is kind of nice, right? It doesn't set heavy in your stomach or anything.
Not heavy at all, and I've been training with them as well. So,
Dude,
so I also
I'm
do.
gonna get some of these.
The reason I brought this up is because I'm going to be using these next week in Washington. My buddy Cameron and he goes, "Hey, we're going to make a straw. We're going to drink from the streams, and we're going to run and try to get as much elevation as we can in 1 week. Like we're going to just go out all out and run the Olympic National Park and just." So that's the kind of guy I hang out with. But going from kind of what I do now, I'm going to finish this Ironman, and then I train currently for these events called High Rocks. And High Rocks is a new growing sport, and it's essentially, think of CrossFit.
Okay.
And you have all these multiple events within each other. And you do these different movements. You do different barbell stuff. You do different runs, etc. Well, higher box is more of an endurance-based sport, and you have 8 workouts. So you start, and they're these huge events. The last one I did was in New York, and they have them all over the world. They start in Europe, basically, and you start out with a 1K run. Okay, you do that as fast as you possibly can. The fastest guys in the world are running. Their pace is probably around like a 5 minute and 5 minute and 10 second minute per mile pace, but for a 1K. So it takes you about 3 minutes and
I thought you meant 1,000 miles. For a second, you said 5 minutes. I realized you meant kilometers.
Exactly. Yeah, 1K. Yeah, 1K. And then you jump straight into, I'll run you through the circuits quick. So it's a 1K run straight into a skier. Have you guys ever seen the skiers you pull down?
Yeah.
They're like the rowers. Okay, you have 1,000 meters on that. Then you go right back out to another 1K run as fast as you can. You come back into the workout zone and you do a sled push with a lot of weight on there.
We have a sled over there.
Sled push. It's like, I think it's 500 pounds, something like that. I forget. I should know that. I just push it. And then you go back out. You go back out, do another 1K. You come back in, you do a sled pull. Then you go back out for another 1K. You come back in, and you jump into the what do we do next? Burpee broad jumps. So those are fun ones. Those are burpee broad jumps. Literally a burpee. You guys know what a burpee is?
Yeah.
So it's a full to the ground, push yourself up, jump your feet up to your hands, and then you do a full broad jump, and that's 1 rep. And you have them all the way down and back, and then you go back out for a 1K. Then you come back in.
You're at like 5Ks now.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, you're serious, bro. All of the Ks, all the Ks, and you're sucking down honey.
And you're just eating honey the whole time. Primus honey.
And
It's really good, Jamie.
it's so tasty. Yeah, that's why I love it, because I was like, hey, anyway. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then you go back out for a 1K. You come back in and you hit a row, 1,000-meter row, and you're rowing at like. Yeah, you're flying on this row. You go back out for a 1K, then you come back in and you do a farmer's carry, and then you go back out for a 1K. You come back in, you do a lunge with weights on your back. Then you go back out for a 1K, and then you do
8Ks, right?
You're 8K, and then your last workout, you come into the tunnel and everybody's cheering. It's this massive zone, and they have these.
Who's they? Who's cheering?
There's so many people
Just watching you guys do this.
So many people watching the events. Like you guys have to check it out. High Rocks. Like
High Rocks.
If you follow my page too, I've got a lot of posts.
Okay,
You
cool.
go and see it. And the last one's 100 wall balls. So you take a med ball and you have to go full 90 to the ground, and you throw this med ball like 20 feet in the air, and it hits this target, and it comes back down as 1 rep. And you have a judge there; he's counting every rep. And you have to do perfect. And then you run the stage, and you finish. There's announcers.
It sounds like
it's a big energy,
torture.
and it's so much fun. But it is torture. It's just.
brutality.
So I think they know.
You would like to do that. You like
Exactly.
to do that.
And then I've got. It's been awesome. I actually
It's just like a normal CrossFit workout, not even hard for you.
No, it definitely is. I'm not like big like barbell mover and stuff. Like I love working out. I love being fit. I love yoga. But like for me, it's like all functional strength. And it's like I love endurance. I've always loved running. I always love endurance. Even when I was playing baseball, I just did weird stuff. I've loved lifting and strength stuff, but never big like barbell guy. I do a little bit of it within my training now, and I actually do like. I'm starting now. I'm opening up my own one-on-one coaching, online kind of.
Sweet. So is that kind of what you do for career?
Yeah, so that's kind of like the next step. My buddy and I with Primus have started this app as well. I'm wearing a shirt. It's called Train Day, and that's another one where we basically have a full program where you can log on and you have access to us live. We'll message with you. We'll set you up with programming. We'll you have to like
it's through the app.
It's all through the So you would just get connected with us like on social media, and then we would direct you through this app, and it's an awesome place to be because you get to earn like all this swag. We have so many sweet like shirts that we've designed.
Yeah, those are sweet.
Yeah, and this is just like the start of there's shorts, all these different shirts. You can earn this stuff as you go. There's like life hacks. There's all different types of ways that you get to stay connected and like create habits in your life.
So cool.
Nutrition, you can track all your nutrition. Yeah, like there's videos. So whatever you need, it's an awesome database to have. So it's just cool. It's another part of way. It's another way to serve within the community. Just
I love it.
right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I've been doing now. Like I'm opening it up. So if you
Okay, so where can we check it out?
Yeah.
So
Is that
just,
on
just
iPhone?
yeah. So just reach out on social media.
Okay.
The Train Day is the app on
Okay,
on
that's
Instagram on Instagram, and obviously just if you follow me, Schimpf on Instagram, SCHIMPFY, you can reach out to
socials.
you can DM me and just say, hey, I'm interested in.
So this is for people who want a community of other people that are taking
Absolutely.
Absolutely. There's fitness serious. There's life hacks on there. There's is there like workouts on there? Is there like
there's workouts for an average everyday person who's just like, hey, I gotta work a 9 to 5 and I just want to get like an hour of work in. There's workouts where you can connect with me and I can run you through high rocks.
So cool.
I can take you next level stuff. We can prep for like an Ironman. We can prep for whatever it is that you want to do. Your goals. We just build that up, and with as much experience as I've had and with my buddies have had, we all get to work together and like pour into this community and say, hey, let's go. We're just all here to help each other out.
Cool.
Yeah, we're all working together, and we get.
this can't be free, right? I mean, there's got to be a cost to this. How much does it cost?
Yeah,
that's a lot of value in the one-on-one. That's like getting a personal.
No doubt. Yeah, the one-on-one is a little bit more expensive.
It should be. Yeah,
it depends on what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends. Whatever you're looking for, we talk about that and we get to work with.
Yeah.
But then the way we kind of handle the train day app would be like you pay a fee for it. We kind of do seasons. So people typically the way that we approach it is like people typically when you start workout plans, how long do they normally last? A week, 2 weeks, whatever it is. So we create short-term goals and you say, hey, there's a 3-month season that we're going to be.
That's cool. That's a really
instead of like you're not just going into a blind saying, all right, I'm signing up for an app. I'm just going to go month to month and see how it goes. It's like, all right, I'm committing to 3 months.
That's super cool.
And like you pay a one-time fee for those 3, and you're going to keep re-upping, you keep going, and you're going to stay connected with us. So it's all part of it.
I love it.
My heart and his heart are so into it and involved.
Yeah,
see people get better.
I love it.
At the end of the day, be healthy and just start living their best life and start just because it really does impact, even if it's just like 10-20 minutes a day, it just doesn't matter. That's like an initiative on there. It's called the 365 and it's literally training every single day, and those are more geared towards people who are just want to like really push it and
see what they can do,
whether they're in fire, whether in whatever it is, and they're going to be a little more tougher workouts, but it's a fun thing to get started and be a part of, and I just am excited to see where it goes.
That's so cool, dude. I've never heard an approach like that. I love the idea that you work with them one-on-one to establish like, hey, for the next season of time, this is your commitment.
Yeah.
Here's a plan.
Yeah.
Like that it seems like everyone can benefit from that.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah. Okay, wonderful. I'd love to, as we end here, I was just thinking as you were talking, because it's not often we have like an expert that in, like marathoning. Well, you would say, I'm not an expert in marathoning.
I would say I'm an expert.
Also, too, since
I've known you and just go.
Yes. Since I've known you, you're super humble too. But like,
there's people out there are a lot better than I am. So.
Well, we've never had anyone on this couch any better than you. So
they've got
yeah. So I wanted to just do some ping pong rapid fire. So I've got 3 or 4 questions, and I'm looking for hot takes, like just your honest, raw opinion, and you don't need to qualify it, okay? Because like when I was a pastor, people would say things like, "Can I have an earring? Is that a sin?" And I just made it a practice to just tell them the truth. Just like, here's the truth. I'm not going to give you all the nuance, but like, here's the truth, right? By the way, you can have an earring.
You can have an earring.
You can have an earring. Yeah. So I'm going to give you some hot takes. Just want your honest opinion, okay? And we'll start easy. Carnivore diet, yes or no?
Variations.
Okay, so there's some nuance there. So do it maybe for seasons.
I don't go full carnivore, but I do not eat much vegetables. I do not eat much chicken. I pretty much just eat ground beef, honey, raw milk. I add in rice, sweet potatoes. I do lots of fruit, and that's pretty much my diet.
So you are as natural and unprocessed.
Whole foods, whole ingredients. Mm-hmm. I talk about this all the time. I say it doesn't. If you feel fine eating a certain food, like if you eat some vegetables, you keep eating that. Like you're okay. You're gonna be okay. There's so much out there now. Don't let yourself get so wrapped up in everything everybody's saying. There's so many videos. There's so many people
like, okay, so is it all meat? Is it all vegetable? Like, what is it? What's the answer?
Keep things simple. I've said that even in baseball and sports. It's like literally with everything. We start overthinking things. That's when it gets difficult.
Dude,
keep it simple. Right. Literally keep it simple. Go buy whole ingredient foods. Whatever you can afford, whatever your needs are, do your best. Like I've come from no money, so I can relate to people that don't have money. And you find ways to make it work. Walmart sells even if you can't get grass-fed beef, you can do your best. Like, you
Yeah,
can,
you can get close.
you can get close.
Yeah.
And if you can't eat grass-fed, grass-finished, like, I get it.
Actually, like getting like a quarter of a cow from the local butchers. I have one in my freezer. It's at $2.80 a pound, and it's grass fed.
Yeah, this is actually my thing. I could sit here and talk to you guys for a couple hours about nutrition. I love nutrition so much. I'm actually currently going back to school to get some one of my minors in it. So I just love it. It's a passion of mine. I think it's fuel is like your life.
Yeah.
It changes your mental state.
Do you talk about it a lot on your channels?
So that's something that's coming.
Okay, good. Because I was gonna say I would follow that.
No doubt, no doubt. So it's like something that's coming. I just wanted to. So I've always had a little bit of imposter syndrome. Just we all kind
You
of
should. You're exceptional.
yeah, we all kind of do. Just
Yeah.
especially as I'm coming out of pro bowl, I never want to be that guy that was like,
Yeah, sure.
I know myself, because I don't. I'm just like I'm
Yeah.
going through it. So I just want to be relatable to people as best
Yeah.
as I can.
Yeah.
And I'm also just trying to build, like, establish, hey, some
Yeah.
credibility. All right, he's done a couple events and he's been healthy through them, and it's
Yeah.
really that's what it's about. Like, I can keep
Well-
up my health and keep up my strength.
You're where so many people wish they could be, and so you don't have to be that guy to teach and share and
Definitely.
open your life and let people see from your experiences and your challenges. And
Exactly. So when it comes to nutrition, and I love helping people with nutrition.
I've lost 100 pounds 3 times and gained some back. So I have a food addiction. I love the comfort food
For sure.
gives me. I also had really, when I was young, Mama, love you. But like there was like, candy in the drawers that I
No
could
doubt,
reach.
no doubt.
We just drank.
Well, I
Pepsi
grew up
instead
the
of
same. I
water.
grew up having similar things around the house. Like I remember
Yeah.
having like there's those little ho-hos or Crunchers or whatever. It's just like
Yeah.
sugar industry lied to everybody growing up. In our time we grew up, we didn't really know any better. My mom had vegetable oil. Like I
Yeah.
stay away from oils as well. I do.
How about
I do
olive
butter.
oil? Is that okay?
Olive oil, you can't cook with it. So
Yeah,
you
because the
eat-
smoke point, when you heat it, it'll turn.
well, it also it oxidizes. So
Yeah.
you're not supposed to be using. You're not supposed to warm and heat oil. You can use it like if you're if you drizzle it on something like olive oil, but it's got to be single source olive oil. It can't be coming from multiple different sources.
Dude, you gotta start that channel.
I know.
I
So
love it.
like
Because the fruit is in your life. Like,
it
you're
is,
bringing
and it's just like so. It's so fun to be able to share that with
Greg
people.
and I just started our nutrition journeys again too, so we gotta get on your app and we gotta get.
Yeah, it's so good, and it's really just like the small things. People want to make these big changes, and it's
Yeah.
just like, hey, just make these little changes every day,
Yeah.
and you'll start noticing the big differences. Because
Yeah.
think about it. Well, you got families, you got full time jobs, you have all this stuff going on in your life. Life's hard. Life's difficult. You want to make nutrition easy if you can.
Yeah.
And you have a family to provide for. Like, you want to make things easy if possible. So
Yeah.
just make these like little changes.
So
and
good.
You will see the biggest differences.
Right.
So do you need to start that again?
Still going.
Okay, let's do some hot takes. Stay there. Stay there. Okay, because I didn't realize I was hitting like on an area of your massive passion. So that's amazing. That was a phenomenal answer. Okay, this would be shorter for sure because it's about gear. Best running shoes.
Oh my goodness, I've ran through so many shoes. Like, it's not even funny. I will literally go. They're like, you're back at the running store already, and I'm like, I'm putting so many miles. Especially I'm trying.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking you.
I'm
put
just
some miles.
running through shoes.
What do you recommend? What are you hot on right now?
I personally, I run my hard and like track day races, and I perform.
Yeah.
I do my performances in race days in Hokas.
That's fine.
Oh, sorry,
I'm wearing Hokas right now.
I misspoke.
Oh dang it! I knew. I thought it was fast.
Sorry, Hoka. I run through those a little too fast.
Yeah.
Saucony.
Saucony. Japanese brand.
My first pair of running shoes were Hokas. That's why I said it.
Yeah.
It's a popular brand. Saucony. I
Mhm.
love them. Reason I almost watched it from Saucony, but I wish I did.
Yeah. Let's get
Let's get one. Come on, Saucony. They actually have a good carbon fiber shoe that I wear.
Whoa.
So I don't know if you've ever heard of carbon fiber, but there's carbon fiber plates.
In my line of work, you don't need carbon fiber shoes, Tyler. I just bring old Hokas dude for me, buddy. Yeah.
No, I totally understand it. I totally understand.
Stop
But
it.
if you're doing events where you need speed,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, or you're doing a marathon, those are typically good.
Yeah.
And Saucony's good. I now have multiple shoes I transition in, and I also use Nikes for my
Wow.
big, long, easy runs. So
Okay.
90% of my runs are easy runs, zone 2. You learned about that earlier.
Dude, I know about Zone 2 now.
Literally, that's the biggest. So everybody's like, what do I do? What do I do?
Stay in
Biggest
Zone 2.
thing, I'll give you like a little snippet of what to do. And I've been doing this as of lately. Every single day, biking. in a zone 2 zone, like sitting in zone 2 on the bike, sweating. I'm just, if you see how much I drip, it's insane.
Yeah.
And I just sit there and I have my Garmin and I have a heart strap and I just sit there because it's the most accurate. I keep my heart in zone 2 and I just grind. And I'll sit there for 90 minutes and I'll just rip out miles.
90 minutes.
90 minutes a day, no matter what. And some days, like, you don't want to do it, but you just get on the bike and it's the best way to start the day.
Love it. Favorite thing to listen to during your 90-minute rips?
Worship music.
Worship music. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big worship music. I can crush worship music on my rides. Everyone's like, "What does this guy listen to?" I'm like jamming over there.
Yeah.
And then my hands go up a little sometimes, but I'm just jamming out, and then all of a sudden,
Love it.
worship.
Love it. Okay.
Podcasts as well. I listen to a lot of podcasts.
Okay, great.
Books. I throw books in there. I like self-help books. I listen to a couple of David Goggins books. Obviously, the guy's a beast.
Yeah.
And then I do some nutrition books as well.
Love it.
So kind of wherever I can get some knowledge. Like I'm never really sitting there just like mindlessly listening to random music. It's got to be something that's either uplifting, inspiring, or I'm learning, knowledgeable, whatever, you know. So I don't like wasting my time on the bike.
I love it.
One more quick little thing.
Love it.
Some days when I'm really hurting, one thing that I do, this is like a little dive into my brain, and it goes back to that question you asked earlier, like why I do what I do, how I am wired this way.
Yeah.
And really, I figured it out, but I do know that I have a little bit of screw loose. And one of the things I like doing to challenge myself is if I'm hurting and I do not, my body hurts because I'm training this much. Like I'm doing double days, and they're not easy days.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Big loads, big days. I actually currently I've been working with a coach to teach me like a lot of these movements. He's Dylan Scott. He's insane. He's actually just finished 10th in the world in this sport that I do. Incredible human being, but he's been helping me learn the system of how to train for this. I've always known how to train for baseball and just like everyday stuff. So now learning all this, I've had such a great experience. But here's the deal: is I'll be hurt in these workouts, and I'm like, all right, I'm in pain today. What am I going to do mentally? We've all been in that time where we're like, gym today, do I want to go? Do I not want to go? Do I not want to go? So I'll literally have those days, and I'll go to the gym, and I'll stare at a spot on the wall, and I will take my headphones out, and I will go out for like a 90-minute run, and I will just not let my eyes leave that dot. And it's the most challenging thing you'll ever experience because your brain, all you want to do is look away. All you want to do is listen to music. All you want to do is just go, man, this treadmill. And you just feel the pain, the suffering of that treadmill. And you're not treadmill, looking, like you're not moving. It takes forever. And it just develops this part of your brain. I actually learned it on the Human podcast. And he talks about your mid-cingulate prefrontal cortex. And it's just like that part of your brain that develops where you kind of can endure the suck. And with everything, you kind of just keep growing that. If you continue to do things that you don't want to do, that's where you get to grow that area of your brain.
Yeah.
If you do things that you enjoy, like I love going to get a pump and lift. I'm not getting better that way with my brain. Physically, yes.
Got it.
But I'm not challenging myself. So when I do get in these big races, and I do get in these we call them the dark zones. Like you're in these dark moments when you're hurting, the pain cave.
Yeah.
You need to be able to find something different. You need to be able to find something new because there's sometimes nothing you can do. You just have to find, like my last race, I had 2 hamstring cramps, complete hammy cramps, and I had to keep running through them. And I ended up finishing 2nd overall in the race. And I should have won the race, but I had to stop for a minute. I lost by a minute, and I had to stop for a minute because I had hammy cramp. So I had to stretch my butt.
I like to live in the shire, the village, away from the pain cave. That was down the hill.
Press into it. Like you'd be expecting cramps tomorrow, that's just gonna happen. And it was just like, here we go.
Wow. That's insane. So, best thing for recovery?
Sleep, no doubt.
Sleep.
I mean, sleep is is literally the biggest thing that we could possibly do.
Right.
I know it's like such a cliche thing, but it's the truth. Like if you just get quality sleep, your life is impacted, and it takes a while because we accumulate all this sleep debt. You accumulate all this sleep debt. And I myself, I'll be the first one to tell you, like I can be so much better at sleeping. I need to be better at sleeping, right? Sometimes I will say though, with my training and who I am, I don't train like a normal person, so I sometimes have to sacrifice sleep a little bit.
Yeah.
I have to deal with a little bit of lack of recovery for right. So to tie it in as well, nutrition is obviously another big thing for me. there's all these different modalities. You
Yeah.
can cold plunge. You get
That's one of my questions.
yeah, you get Nortec legs, which circulate the blood out. You can do, yoga. You can go in a sauna, a steam room. Yes, I do all of that stuff, but really nothing is gonna change you more and help you
Then sleep.
than your sleep, your
Yeah.
hydration, and just not doing like I don't drink. I don't. It's just
Yeah.
if you stay away from all that stuff,
Yeah.
you're gonna be able to recover very well.
Yeah.
Are you single, or are you in a relationship, or married, or?
Yeah, I'm actually recently just got into a relationship.
Okay.
So
Congratulations.
it has been absolutely incredible,
Yes.
and I've shared. You guys know that I'm a man of God, so
Yeah.
it has been all divine intervention the way that this has happened. I wasn't even looking, and all of a sudden God was just like, "Let me bless you in your life."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's how
That's
it's
amazing.
So
How long have we been together?
we've now been dating for officially. If she's watching this, don't be upset. Officially a week.
Whoa, so
Hey,
it's
so
fresh.
it's like new now.
Okay.
Brand new.
Come on.
Okay,
Brand new.
great. That's awesome.
Most supportive. Like all you want to do is just. I mean, y'all know it's just all you want to do is like support each other,
Yeah.
love on each other,
Yeah.
and praise God and serve
Yeah.
together. And like that's like.
Where did you meet her?
So my buddy Cameron that I shared with you guys.
Yeah.
He was
Mountain guy.
Yeah, mountain guy. He's
Insane
he's seen a girl,
athlete.
and it's her best friend.
Okay.
That's
So
right.
then
That's
we
legit.
there, and we kind of got
Yeah.
introduced that way, which is it's organic.
Yeah.
That's how I want it.
Yeah.
It's been pure.
Dude, that's so
I
cool.
love
She was a 10K runner in college.
I was gonna say she must be interested
Oh,
in
she's
stuff.
She's doing
Yeah.
a little knee injury right now, and she'll
Yeah.
be back soon.
Oh.
But she's
So right, because it's savage. Yeah.
she literally is like she'll wake up at like 3:30 and she'll spend her time in the Word, and then she just like hits the gym, crushes the gym, and she's like good solid workouts, and then crushes work, goes home, in for another workout. I'm like, let's go.
But you gotta have that. You gotta have that same interest. You gotta love it that way.
No doubt.
So cool. Well, congratulations, dude. That's amazing.
Thank
It's
you.
been so awesome. Did you have any questions for me?
No, man, we covered everything. I think I
Yeah.
have questions for. So
It's awesome. Okay, so we'll end with this. I want you to take no more than 3 minutes. That way we can have a good solid clip of it. But I want you to maybe just tell us a little bit about like your walk with God. Oh, how it fuels you. We just want to give the space for that.
For sure.
Yeah.
I love Jesus. I'm not a perfect man. I've been through my ups and downs.
Yeah.
Walks are very interesting. It's an everyday battle to pick up your cross and walk. No matter who you are, it's a tough thing to do. So throughout my entire career, getting to bless people in any way possible. I always look for ways to serve in any way possible. Whether it was like we're on a run and I have to fill up waters and not even talk to people about it. Just fill up waters and have them sit over there,
Yeah.
so they know that there's waters over there. Like
It's the little things.
it's the little thing. So like if you're high school and you look for ways to serve, go fill up those waters and like don't even say anything. Just do it humbly and kind of away from everybody and just fill
Yeah.
up waters. You don't even say it. That's just not.
Yeah.
Or I'd stick around and make sure like clean up the trash. Like clean up the trash in the clubhouse, clean up the trash in after a game.
really
We know how
good.
dirty those dugouts get,
Mhm.
and it's just ways to serve. And if you're an athlete, that's your area to serve.
Yeah.
And I feel like I was called to serve within the baseball world.
That's
And
right.
it was just a blessing to be able to do that. God's so good. So my walk obviously started. I come from a Christian family, but I was playing sports every weekend.
Yeah.
We were always traveling, doing stuff. So we went to church here and there. And then my walk really started when I went to high school, private school, my own personal walk.
Yeah.
Again, about my freshman, sophomore year, I accepted Jesus in my life. And it was amazing from there. And then I go to college, and I went to public school, so I got to
Yeah.
say, all right, now it's like my turn to really take this walk to another level.
Yeah.
Like now I'm like it's my test. So building community, building into Bible studies, diving into the Word, learning as much as I possibly could, and just being as good of a person as I possibly could be every single day of my life, and
Yeah.
focusing on that, mixing it with sports. Jesus has helped me so many tough times with my dad, with playing in college. It's an up and down. It's an up and down game. You have bad games, good games, and you have to really just trust that God's really kind of got something more for you. And there's so much. The plan He has for you is so much bigger than your path in sports or your path in just any area of life. It's like who you are and how you're going to serve and how you're going to build into the kingdom.
Yeah.
So I just constantly I constantly have pressed into that, and I've had my week, months, or a year, or whatever they we kind of go through these spiritual ruts, and you're up and down. And I'm gonna be the first one to tell you, like, absolutely, like, it happens, no doubt. You just gotta find a way to kind of get that reignited in yourself. So for me, ways that I would do that was just like building a community, building churches, start a prayer group with some buddies, or just not even that. You can go to a coffee shop and sit there and just chat about God.
Yeah. My encouragement to you from just hearing your story over the last couple hours of you sitting here talking is like, I think there's something significant in 3 ways, and I didn't pick 3 because I used to be a pastor. Pastors always have 3 pointers, but I saw 3 things. Number 1, you kept mentioning community over and over again. That's like a message from your life. That's something I would continue to dive into. Number 2 is one of the things that's unique about you. I've met a lot of guys that are really fit and they're really, all the things, but like you seem to be really concerned with helping other people succeed and helping other people achieve those things. Like you've talked about others. In this whole podcast, we've talked about your life, but in all that, you've been weaving in other people, and that's something really special about calling in your life. And then I'd say the third thing is like there's a deep work of experience and knowledge that God's given you, and that's meant to be dispensed and shared.
Right.
So those are the 3 things I saw in your life that I'm like, man, there's something really good that God's leading you into. And that's one of the reasons why you've been exposed to all the areas that you've been exposed to, so that you can dispense it out. Because we know it's true because we see it in your life.
Exactly. And going back to, you asked a question earlier about, did I have a tough time deciding whether or not I was going to go to Pro Bowl?
Yeah.
And looking back at that now, financially, I wish I would have signed the contract. Like, who wouldn't? But it's not about that. Seeing the connections God had created for me, and the route and the people that He, like, it has been unbelievable, and I couldn't have drawn it up any differently. Literally differently, just from the areas I've been able to train and live and be a part of, and people I've been able to meet and impact lives. And not only that, they've impacted my life so much and changed my life. Like, I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. I would have signed for $0. I would have signed for a plane ticket. And just opportunity to go and meet these people all over again.
Dude, it has been an absolutely fantastic time getting to know you better. I appreciate that you, in the middle of like literally going to an Iron Man tomorrow, between when you signed up today at the booth and got your bracelet to come over here and spend a bunch of time.
Be in the water at 4:30 tomorrow.
Perfect.
Well,
14 hours left.
Yeah. Greg, why don't you sign off? Tell everybody where they can find his socials and all that stuff.
For sure. So, thanks again, man. This was awesome. We're going to put everything down in the info thing, whatever that's called, the description of the video. Obviously, we'll put your tags up there. Schimpf for Instagram. It was called Train Day. We'll put all those links in there.
Primus.
Primus on there. Primus is dope.
Yeah, it's really good.
I've been using these other things in the morning, and I honestly might be switching to something like this because I just like it better.
Yeah, dude, this is
but we'll put all the links in there. We'll put all the links on Instagram. We'll tag everything that's important. Follow Tyler. I'll see you down there tomorrow.
What time are you going for tomorrow?
Honestly, I don't really have like a time in my mind. I think it will just be something that is going to happen as I'm grinding. As I'm going, I'm like, all right, I think we'll go for this.
We'll put an updated.
I'm just giving you all I got. Because obviously I'm mainly focusing on these other events, and I just mix this into like build base. Building base with this one.
I love that your base is an Iron Man.
It's going to absolutely crush me, but I just like, let's go.
Remind me what the other event was called, the other events you've been doing?
Hyrox. HYROX.
I want to do a Hyrox by next summer.
Oh my god.
That's what you just
here we go. I love this. I'm the kind of guy that I'm going to sign you up, and you're going to get a message that says, you're signed up for there's one in Anaheim in December.
Well, I'm still kind of fat.
I can't.
Or you tell me. If we took, what month are we in? June? We're almost in July. We'll say July 1 to December.
They have doubles. You guys can do doubles.
D.
We can play out for a year. Play out for a year.
Bro, like 1 year.
When you were describing Hyrox, it made me sick to my tummy.
It made me sick to my tummy.
It sounds so hard.
I also heard him say, like, even when it sucks, I get up and do it anyways. So, I'm just saying, double it up. Let's go.
Maybe
Next year.
Maybe with the help of Primus, I could possibly get through it.
Oh yeah.
Regardless, 1 year from now, I want to do a high rocks. Whether or not Daniel wants to accompany me.
Probably.
We got this saying. It's just we just say we have the saying. It's just keep charging every single day. Just keep charging no matter what. So I appreciate you guys having me on. It's been awesome too.
It's been awesome. Yeah.
I'm excited to see where it goes and what you guys are doing such amazing stuff here. So
Thank
you know, it's really been an honor to talk to you.
Well, have a great day, and we'll see you soon.
See you guys later.
See you. All right, there it is.
There she goes, dude.
Dude, that.